Do you like movie popcorn when you cry? Hello and welcome to Old Faithful Kind of. I don't like talking about current events on the show because it's kind of going to be there in perpetuity, I thought, but it's getting a little difficult to do this show in its original form, so for the time being, it's just going to be me, and we will see if I can carry Old Faithful on my own. Wish me luck. So I am Matt Trask. I have lived in Rapid City, South Dakota now for about 4 years. Cowboys are always supposed to ride in from the west. I, in fact, rode in from the east, so I guess I'm not a cowboy. I work for Skull Construction. We're going to talk about this guitar here in a second. Boy, this is hard. My thanks to Haggerty's Music Works here 45 seconds into the show. My thanks to the incredibly talented Johnny Hastings for trying to make me look good. I did buy myself a coffee. It's off screen. Thank you to Black Hills Blend for the coffee. They are still open because they're a drive-through location. They're doing their best to be hygienic and clean during this pandemic time. Man, I guess we can edit while I sit here and hem and haw. So this is one of my guitars. I love puns. This is the unsung hero of my arsenal. You might say that it's been very instrumental in my career. This was a gift to me from the woman who at the time was my wife. She's now my ex-wife. And this guitar's name is Jean, which is my ex-wife's middle name. And this is a Breedlove Pursuit concert guitar. It was made in China. A word about that. It used to be that most guitars from China were cheaply and shoddily made. You can get a cheap guitar from China still, a poorly made one. It takes some work. Most of the ones coming out of China now are not too bad at all, which definitely includes this one. This has the reason I wanted to buy this one was because it has a pinless bridge. Most acoustic guitars have 6 pins that hold the strings, and I hate those pins. 6 little things you got to pull out, push back in, and they fall down the heat register. I love this pinless bridge. If you're going to get one of these, you do have to bend the strings a little bit to get them through. They go right through the back of the bridge, if you can see that, and they come right up through there. It's a wonderful way to do it. This guitar has a cedar top and a mahogany back and side. I've never been too concerned about tone woods. I thought that was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and I wouldn't go so far as to say there was nothing to it. I would have said that I couldn't hear it. Until I got this guitar and I discovered that I absolutely love a cedar top guitar, which is, a cedar top is somewhat unusual on steel string acoustics. It was very common for the old classical guitars, I think mostly because they were made in Spain and cedar was very plentiful in Spain. But it seems to have a mid-range, harmonic overtones in the mid-range that are almost obnoxious. There are many. We could go downstairs and find an old Martin, or we could go somewhere and find a Santa Cruz or a bourgeois guitar that is unarguably amazing, piano-like sustain. And then there's just a whole bunch of guitars that are in the mid-range that sound good. And of those, anything that I could conceivably comprehend buying, I have not found anything that I actually like the sound of better than this guitar right here. It is left-handed. My ex-wife purchased it online, I believe on eBay, so I can't remember what music store it was from, but because I don't trust the internet, the government, or Labor Day mattress sale, we wanted to find a left-handed store demo model that had been pawed by people at the music store. And that took a while to find. But we finally found this guitar. It was, I think, $100 off new price or something. This, I absolutely can't say enough about this guitar for the sort of beginner who wants to get out and play. It does have the Fishman Isis pickup system. I don't see the Fishman Isis pickup system. It's Isis with a Y, but I think they regret that. Coming next year, spring 2021, look for the Fishman Boko Haram pickup system. But it also has other things I love about it. This has become a pretty standard feature. The battery goes right in here. I don't know if I'm pointing at it. And the input jack is over here. And there is a USB port, which I've never used, but if you wanted to record into your digital audio workstation, you could plug right in. It stays in tune well. It's got some finish cracks. I don't know if they're showing up on the video. And they just started happening. Makes it look a little more worn in, beat up. The only thing I've had a problem with is the nut fell off at one point. The glue came loose, which to me is an entirely forgivable sin, and I brought it in here to Haggerty's, and Scott Pack glued that sumbitch back on, and away we went. I have written a few songs over my lifetime. I don't consider myself a songwriter. I don't call myself a songwriter. Number one, because if you get to looking around for songwriters online, there are so many of us, and God bless us all, but you get lost in the herd. I've never made any money off my songs, which is okay. Also, I don't do it right. If there's a wrong way to do it, I do it wrong. I admire people like Rodgers and Hammerstein, Craig Wiseman, Max Martin, who go to work every day and hang up their hat and tie and say, well, the babies need new shoes. I got to write a song today. I don't know how to do that. Most of the time, the songs that I write, I don't really write them. My brain writes them. They just materialize, and actually then I try and forget them. I figure if I can forget a song, it wasn't that good to begin with. And that keeps them weeded down, I think. I've gotten to the point where I kind of know when my brain thinks I've written a good one. So anyway, I'm going to do a few episodes while we're in this quarantine, and it's just me. I'm going to do a few original songs, and we'll see if some of them are any good. Well, this is a song that took me 27 years to write. To finish, I got the first line. Usually a song for me starts with a line, and I think, boy, my brain says, that's a good line. That line ain't going away. And I got this line while watching the movie Dances with Wolves in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. At the end of the movie, it said no animals were harmed in the filming of this production, which struck me funny at the time. By the way, I was in Washington, D.C. I was the 1991 South Dakota State Spelling Champion. I might as well brag a little bit. And I got to participate in the Scripps Howard National Spelling Bee. Anyway, back to the song. There's that scene where they had all of the dead and skinned buffalo, and apparently they'd done that through the magic of technology, and no animals were harmed. And I got this idea for a song in my head, having never written a song, and I finally finished this song 27 years later, last summer, just in time for a songwriter showcase at Santana's in Deadwood. I hope to be back there this next summer. And you will notice when I sing this song that the singer says some truly awful stuff about his in-laws. And often a singer can blame it on the songwriter. In this case, I am the songwriter. I was previously married and now am divorced, so I do have ex-in-laws, and I want to state that this is not about my in-laws. My brain wrote this song and it said, that's a good song, leave it as it is. I do think there are in-laws in the world that are like the in-laws in this song. Actually, particularly when I wrote the song, I was thinking of my ex-wife's first in-laws, who I never had the pleasure of meeting, and I'm very thankful for that. But I do want to state for the record that I am not singing about my own ex-in-laws. John and Kathy, always loved you. Hope you enjoy this song. Do you like movie popcorn when you cry? It makes a greasy mess when you wipe your eyes. On a sunny summer evening, it's fun to lose yourself in film. I'd love to take you with me, but I guess you'll go with him to see you and me and said goodbye with some other good-looking dude as the bad guy. It's one of the season's best. For tears you can't go wrong, and no hearts were broken in the writing of this song. Your mother is convincing as true. Who always thought that I would never do. Your father's stoicism almost steals the show, and our daughter wins an Oscar for her supporting role in You and Me in Said Goodbye with some other good-looking dude as the bad guy. It's one of the season's best. For tears you can't go wrong, and no hearts were broken in the writing of this song. All of the shots were drank on location. Special thanks to the bar for their cooperation. Starring you and me in Said Goodbye with some other good-looking dude as the bad guy. It's one of the season's best. For tears you can't go wrong, and no hearts were broken in the writing of this song. Do you like movie popcorn when you cry? Dr. Pepper says, wash your hands.